for over 16 months after my last ceremony, I've had haunting thoughts.
I think when you get into these kinds of dark thought loops and stuff like that that can come from these experiences, you have to integrate and process the fear. And fundamentally, what you need to do is
We had actually a question from a woman named Heather, and she said, for over 16 months after my last ceremony, I've had haunting thoughts, almost OCD in some cases. I've went to multiple therapists without any reprieve. Can you speak to that a little bit, just as we move the conversation towards solution and towards the healing power of medicine, as we wrap up the dark side of the medicine? Like, what is something that she could do if she's experiencing that?
I think when you get into these kinds of dark thought loops and stuff like that that can come from these experiences, you have to integrate and process the fear. And fundamentally, what you need to do is do a lot of grounding meditations. And in those grounding meditations, pardon me, you need to really, really connect with the earth and really connect with grounding and understand that the brain is producing fear. And when the brain goes and produces the fear, we have to find a way to learn to calm that fear down. We can't externalize the fear. We can't blame the fear. We need to understand that the brain is now creating thought loops of fear, and that there are ways to isolate and to straighten that out and to center that. And so you do that through grounding practices and teaching the brain really gently, really kindly to not create those fears and to be courageous. So you call on all different kinds of energies to be able to help you do that, from the nature energies to the earth energies to, whatever you connect with that is real for you, source. I mean, typically I talk about source, and I don't think source is a debatable principle. Source is the origin of all of this. So source affects everybody, period, whether they believe or not. It's not a religious concept. It's not a scientific concept. It's what gives origin to all religious and scientific concepts. So
yes, I heard it described almost as omnipresence, omnipresent, both nowhere and everywhere at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. So connect with source, connect with earth, and deal with the fear, and understand that what's happening in the thought loops can be broken through really gentle affirmations and really working with the heart and bringing brain and heart alignment or coherence that just needs to be created. And that'll solve that mental looping.
Yeah. People that deal with OCD, you mentioned there's a lot of resources, and we'll link people to Blue Morpho. But there is a lot of pre-existing conditions. Like if somebody, for example, has a proclivity towards being psychotic, or maybe their mother had bipolar, I wonder within myself, it's vulnerable for me to share this, but fuck it, I'll go there. My mom has bipolar. And my dad took medicine. My brother took medicines. They no longer do anymore. But I'm the only one in my family that didn't take SSRIs. And so I wonder, was something activated from an epigenetic standpoint when I was in that ceremony? Could be.
It very well could be. And I question there the filtering of that out, and it's very difficult. And so I don't place blame on that, but it's very, very difficult. And I think it's really important that if you have that in your, in your family history, and that, especially as you're, in the 30s, the ages of 30s to 40s, and then in that age bracket too, for some reason, and I don't know why, it's typically past the 20s and before the 40s, these kinds of experiences can kick off and trigger those propensities that people have. And we warn everybody about that, to please look into their family history. And, if there is any kind of family history, we check it out. We typically have people get doctors literally, letters that says that they are a safe candidate to be able to participate. And you also need to take unbelievably small doses. Like you cannot use larger doses of the.
I think that's what happened, man. Substances. I think there was this medicine called Yahe medicine, and it was different than the ayahuasca. And the Yahe just took me to a place where I literally just had my reality shattered. And it took me almost 2 years. I'm here with you now, like everything's okay. And everything actually was always okay. And I look back on the path, and I don't hold resentment, because I know that it happened for my greatest good. Otherwise, it wouldn't have happened.